Hello, 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 my brothers. Hello, my sisters. How you all doing? How you all doing? Your brother Tony is in the house. Come on in, come on in, come on in. It's dinner time, my brothers and sisters. I hope that you all are ready for tonight's show because your brother Tony is. I hope that you are starving for some good food tonight because I'm ready to give it to you, my brothers and sisters. I hope that everything is well. We're about to get into the weekend, and I hope that you all are ready for tonight's show. If this is your first time looking at this broadcast, my brother and sister, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tony M. Toomer, and I talk about relationships. I talk about relationships from a spiritual perspective more so. I believe strongly that God had a unique relationship with the man Adam. Secondly, he had a unique relationship with the woman Eve. Thirdly, he represented the woman back to the man, and in the presence of God, Adam said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. I should call a woman because she came from man. That's what Adam said in the presence of God. So if you don't believe in this particular type of relationship, my brother, sister, you have what is called a free will. And I still would like for you to still sit down with the brothers and sisters here at the dinner table so we could chop it up tonight. Now, you could do whatever you choose to do because you got a free will. But if you're looking at this broadcast, my brother and sister, and if you're here with us for dinner, I strictly talk about relationship between a man and woman. With that said, my brother and sister, I'm about to get into tonight's broadcast. Tonight's show is God will place the right queen next to a king. Again, God will place the right queen next to a king. Now, let's define what a king is. Let's define what a king is. A king, my brother, and a king, my sister, is defined as a male ruler of an independent state, especially one who is inherit the position or right of birth. A male sovereign or monarch. A man who holds by life tender his position, and usually by inherent rights, the chief authority of our country and people. Now the king, my brother, and the king, my sister, we're going to talk a little about chess too, and we're going to talk about position, okay, my brothers and sisters? Now, when we talk about queen, my brothers and sisters, what is a queen? When I look in the dictionary, the word queen is defined as the female ruler of an independent state, especially one inherit the position by right of birth, the wife or widow of a king. Check that out. The wife or widow of a king. A woman who does something very well. She's passionate. She's caring. She's gentle. Definitely a people's person. Now, if any of you all understand a game called chess, I'm not going to go through all the nuances of chess, but let me tell you something. Some of you have heard about chess. You may understand the game, you may not, but there are different pieces on the chessboard, okay? There are different pieces on the chessboard. Now, the king on the chessboard, my brother and sister, listen to this. The king on the chessboard is the most powerful chess piece. It's the word, the most powerful chess piece. Now, what can the king do on the chessboard? Each player has one, which the opponent has to checkmate in order to win. So in order to beat a king, the opponent has to checkmate the king in order to win. Now, how does the king move on the chessboard? The king can move, my brothers. The king can move, my sister, in any direction on the table that is not attacked by the opponent pieces or pawns. So the king on the table, my brother and sister, the king can move any way he wants. Now, what is the position of the queen on that board? Now, the queen, my brother, and the queen, my sister, if the king is the most important piece on the chessboard, What does that mean about the queen? The queen, my brother, and the queen, my sister, she is the most powerful. She is the most powerful piece that any player could have on the chessboard. She is able to move in any number of squared squares in any direction along rank, file, wherever the queen wants to move. What is the queen position on the chessboard? The queen position on the chessboard is to what? To protect the king. Because the king is the most important, but the queen is the most powerful. So why am I saying that? There are a lot of men that walk around saying they are kings. There are a lot of women that walk around saying they are queens. I just went over the true definition of a king and a queen. And I also went not only the dictionary version, I also told you a little about the game called chess. Now, a king has a whole bunch of responsibilities, my brothers and sisters. Everything hinges on the king's decision. A king is analytical. Everything hinges on the king's decisions. And with the queen position is she's the most powerful piece on the chessboard. Now, when we talk about life, now let's apply this to life. Let's say, brother, that you are a king. The most important person that you could have by you, brother, is not a knight, not your army. The most important person besides yourself, you need someone that's powerful. Your knight is not more powerful than your queen. No one in your court, brother, is more powerful than your queen. Do you not realize, my brother and sister, that Adam and Eve were the first king and queen of this world? Do you realize that? I know a lot of people don't even look at Adam and Eve as kings and queens. But look at it. When God created Adam and Eve, he told it two primary things he told them. He said to be fruitful and multiply. And then not only did he say be fruitful and multiply, he said have dominion. They were to do things together. Adam needed Eve. He needed Eve to accomplish God's purpose in his life. He could not do it without Eve. Could he do it with only God? Yes, but God chose to put Eve as the queen in Adam's life. She was very important. Which leads to this. Remember the scripture that I always beat you all with. I say that the man was not created for the woman, but the woman was created for the man. Any successful man, listen to me, my brother and sister, a man could be successful in life. But when a man has the right woman in his life, she helps his success to multiply. When he has the right woman, his success multiplies. When a man wants children, he needs a woman to multiply, to carry his seeds. When a man wants to do other things, let's go to the throne. Let's say a king is sitting on the throne and the queen sitting right by him. Let's say all the people they acknowledge the king. But not only do they acknowledge the king, they acknowledge the queen. The queen, you do not ignore the queen because she's part of the king. When the king have to make mental decisions, he has someone that could whisper in his ear. A good woman is a good counselor for the man, especially if God put the right woman there by the king. No man that has a woman in his life, a good woman, brother, a good woman could carry you far or she could hinder you. You understand that, brother? If she ain't advancing you, she's slowing you down. That's why it's very critical. Any of you brother that say you're a king, it's very critical the woman that you select to be a part of your purpose and your journey in life. The woman that you select, brother, you got to understand this. She's not weak. The Bible said that the woman is the weaker vessel. When it said the woman is the weaker vessel, it does not mean that she's stupid. It does not mean that she's crazy. It basically refers to the strength, and it also depends, and when it comes down to making concrete, solid decisions without emotion, that's where the woman is not that strong as a man. But a woman is stronger than a man emotionally. You understand? Women are stronger than men emotionally. Women can take more pain than men. If you don't believe that, watch a lady give birth to a baby. There's no man that can see himself laying down there giving birth to a baby. It amazes a man just to see a woman give birth to a baby. Women could take on emotional pain more than a man. Women have, if you have a good woman in your life, brother, you need a woman that's keen on discernment. Because, brother, when you're a king, there's a lot of things that you cannot see or feel like that woman can. So when you have a good woman in your life, brother, that woman, she have discernment. Women that follow God, they don't go by their feelings all the time. They go by their discernment. They go what is concrete and true. You understand that? That's what they do. Go by so when a man have a good woman, that woman could say something about somebody or a situation that man could not pick up on. Case in point. Let me give you a situation. Let's say a man is starting a business. Him and his wife starting a business. They decide to start a business together. They have people to come in and they're about to sign contracts, right? The man is sitting here, the king, and the queen is sitting there. What is the king thinking about? The king is thinking about what's on the dotted line, right? That's what the king thinking about. Just let me read these papers and I sign it. But it's more than signing the papers that man should be focused on. Because we do know that people break contracts, right? People do break contracts. So if a man got a solid woman right by him, and the people that's in front of the man, that queen, she could lean up to the man and say, only the man can hear it. Her king, the queen said, don't sign no papers. She could whisper to her man is, don't sign no paper. Then her husband look at her and said, what you mean by don't sign no paper? She said, don't sign no paper. Then the king would say to the people in front of him, let me get back with you. I need to talk to my wife right quick. Him and his wife go out in the hallway and talk. Then the man would say, this is a good deal. This is a good deal. Why you don't want us to sign these papers? And his wife said, I read over the paper, but that man or woman that you're dealing with is crooked. How do you know? This is a binding contract. And the woman would say, people break contracts. It's something about that man or about that woman. Do not trust that man and do not trust that woman. So, brother, when you have a woman, a solid woman that's standing by you and she give you some red flags on the stuff, you need to listen to her, because that woman that's right by you, brother, if that woman is following God, God is using his spirit in that woman to talk to you. God don't only talk to you, brother. He talked to that woman that he placed in your life. You know that woman that you find, brother? God specifically brought that right woman into your life for your purpose. God handpicked that woman for you. So you have to acknowledge the queen, brother, because she's the most powerful person in your family. You are, brother, you are the most important person, but she is the most powerful person. You all know the saying where they said, behind every good man is a good woman. That is a lie. When you hear people say behind every good man is a good woman, that is a lie. The true thing is beside a great man is a great woman. No man do not hide no woman in his back. He don't hide a woman in the back. He had that woman right by him because he need power by him. So besides every good man is a great woman. When you see a king and a queen walking in the ball, where does the queen walk? Does the queen walk behind the king? You don't never see the queen walking behind the king. Do you ever see the queen walking in front of the king? No, you never see the queen walking in front of the king. Where do you see? She be walking right beside him. One woman is walking by that king, her king. Everybody in the kingdom know the king. They know the king. They also know the queen. If you mention the king name, his queen name is going to pop up. If you have a good queen, her name is going to pop up. If you say something about the queen, her husband, the king name is going to pop up because they're one. And who rules the kingdom? Let's get to that. Let's go into royalty, my brother and sister. When you have a king and a queen on the throne, who rules the territory? They rule together, but the king called the final shot. The king would listen to the queen. He listened to the queen. He don't hear her, he listened. And with the information that the king gets from the queen, he make his decision. A king is not one that don't listen to no one. A king listens to advisors. All leaders have advisors. No king walks alone. A king needs a good queen. You understand? She's important. Especially, now let's go back to the game of checkers. When you go to the game of checkers, not checkers, excuse me, scratch that. When you go to the game of chess, that queen moves everywhere because she do not want nobody to capture the king. What does the enemy want when you on the checkerboard? The enemy want to checkmate that king. The queen will use everything at her disposal to advance the king. She will use everything at her disposal to protect the king. Because what the queen wants? She wants that king to conquer the adversary. You see, if you look at the game of chess again, how did I say the king move? How did I say the king move? He can move anyway. The king can move anyway because he's the most important part on there. And the enemy knows if I could get that king, I could checkmate and I win. The queen knows this. She knows that there's some things out there that would derail her king. So she's going to protect her king because she's powerful. Any great king in history, whether you have heard about the queen or not, there was a woman that influenced the king. Even though King Solomon had 1,000 women, 700 of them was his wives and the other 300 were his concubines. Guess who was the main woman at one time? It was his mama, Bathsheba. When you look in the book of Proverbs, when we look at Proverbs 31, Solomon wrote Proverbs 31. And he was talking about a certain king. So in order for him to talk about a certain king, the king had a mother. So if the king had a mother, his mother apparently was the queen before he became the king. His mother gave him good advice. When you look at Proverbs 31, you got to understand it, my brother and sister, when you really read Proverbs 31, Solomon was telling you basically how this woman was talking to her son. Check it out. A woman was talking to her son about how to not drink too much and what he need to stay from. A woman, powerful, which leads to, brothers, if you are a king, let me tell you about how to select a woman to be your queen, because she's the most powerful. We're going to talk about Esther. You all have heard about Esther, right? Esther in the Old Testament. It's a book that's called Esther. Her uncle was named Mordecai. Let me give you a little snippet of Esther. There were two women. There was one king. Okay? The king, he was married to Vasel, something like that. Vesa, that's what her name, Vesa, right? The king was married to Vesa, okay? When he was married to her, you got to look at the character of these two women, because I'm going to talk about Vesey. Yeah, her name was Vesey, and I'm going to talk about Esther. They had two different personalities, but they were queens. You could have a good queen, and you could have a bad queen. A bad queen could take you left. The right queen could take you the right way and down the right road. So the king, he was married to the first lady. So the first lady, Versi, if I pronounce it right, she was not the right woman in that man's life, the king's life. She was one, when you go by character and everything, she was not one that supported the king. The king had a party. He had a party. I'm going to try to condense this story. He had a party. He sent word for his wife to come to the party. You know what she said? I ain't coming. I'm talking about a king of a country. He sent a message to the queen telling her to come. She said, I'm not coming. She sent word back to him, I'm not coming. What does that tell you, brother? If you get a woman like that, and she doesn't comply with your wishes, if you're supposed to be the king, you need her for some purpose. The king did not just call her for no purpose, for no reason. He had his reasons, but it didn't make sense to her. And that's another thing. Sister, let me tell you this. Just because it doesn't make sense to you, that man, it makes sense to him some kind of way. But the king had the wrong woman. So what happened? His advisor say, look, you need to get rid of that woman. Yeah, that's it, Teresa. Vesti, thank you, sister. You need to get rid of that woman. Because if you do not get rid of that woman, the other women, they're going to do the same thing to their men. They're going to think that they can do whatever they want to do, whatever floats their boat. So you got to get rid of her. She's not the one for you, king. So the king told her, you got to kick rocks. So he had to go. In stepped Esther. But before Esther got there, my brothers and sisters, before she became the queen, Esther had to be trained to be the queen. Esther was in a beauty pageant with other women, potential women, potential. So Esther had her training. This is when it comes to a Proverbs 31 woman. Esther did not get there just by luck or it just happened. She was lucky. It was her lucky day. No. God prepared Esther for that moment because God was going to use Esther as an instrument to carry out his purpose. The first queen, she was not going to carry out God's purpose. God strategically put Esther in this beauty pageant. When she came before the king, it was more than Esther's beauty. The king seen some stuff beyond Esther's beauty. Not only was Esther put in there for God's purpose, her purpose was it was going to be long range because Jesus came down that lineage. So, brother, the right woman, you don't know what God is preparing with that woman. That's why you got to select the right woman, brother, because you don't know what God is going to do down the road. In Esther's case, Esther, Jesus came down that lineage. Now, you all not going to have Jesus, but I'm telling you, it's something that's going to happen down the road that you can't see. You may be dead and gone, but it's important, brothers, that you have the right queen. So what did Esther do? God used Esther to save the Jewish people. She listened to her uncle Malachi. Esther was the only one that could save her people through the Lord. So God strategically put Esther there. During those days, my brothers and sisters, no one could just approach the king. Even the wife, you cannot just approach the king unless he beckons for you to come. When he hold up his little thing in his hand, he has to hold that up and beckon you to come. If he doesn't do it, if you approach the king without him asking you to do it, that's sudden death. Esther was put in a position that she had to really talk to the king because she was a queen. So guess what a queen does? Listen to this. A queen is defined as a ruler of an independent state, especially one that inherits the position or right of birth, the widow or the wife or widow of a king. Now, check this out about Esther. A woman who does very well. She's passionate. She's caring and gentle. And here go the big part. Definitely a people's person. Esther was thinking about other people besides herself. Esther put her life on the line for people. She was not selfish. Esther was not one of those women that say, give me, give me, give me. That's right, Teresa. She was not one of those women that said, give me, give me, give me. She was a woman that came because she was there for the purpose of the Lord and the help of the people. And guess what? She was a good wife. So, brother, let me tell you this. When it comes to a woman, when it comes to the right woman, brother, God will place the right queen next to a king. Notice I didn't say the king, I said a king. When I said God will place the right queen, I didn't say God will place a queen, I said the right queen. What is the right queen? The right queen, my brothers, and the right queen, my sister, is a woman that following after God with her own heart. She's not a worldly woman. She is a woman that's thinking about God. She is a woman that's thinking about her husband. She is a woman that thinks about her children. She's a woman that thinks about her extended family. She's a woman that thinking about family and friends. She's a woman that thinking about strangers. Notice I didn't say nothing other than relationship. Everything I said about a queen, I always talked about relationship. Remember I said God had a relationship with the woman, the queen. The man have a relationship with the woman, the king. Then you got the children, princes and princesses. They have a relationship with the queen. You got the extended family, you got in his family. Then you got other people, the courtyard, the other people, and the man and the woman rule wherever God placed them at. So when God places a woman in your life, brother, if you are a king, and your woman is the right queen, wherever God placed you at, brother and sister, wherever he placed you at, that's where you dominate. You dominate. Where's the throne, brother? Your throne, brother, is in your heart. Who sits on your heart besides the Lord? Your wife, your woman, she sits on your throne in your heart. Who sits on her heart? The Lord and you, king. That's where the real throne at, in the heart. Brother, if you have the right queen in your life, you going to have a lot of peace and you going to have a lot of success. When it comes to battle, brother, when it comes to war, brother, listen to this, brother. When it comes to wars, because you got different wars out there. You may lose some battles, but when you have the right queen, you are going to win the war. You understand that, brother? You're going to win the war when you have the right queen in your life. That's why, brothers, when God put that right woman in your life, every day when you talk to God, you need to tell God, you need to seek God's will in your life every day. When God placed the right woman in your life, you have to thank God for that woman. And not only you thank God for that woman, you got to verbally thank that woman for God putting her in your life. You understand? That's what you have to do, brother. Worldly king don't roll that way. Worldly king don't care. They want to dominate, but they want to take advantage of people. Spiritual king don't want to take advantage of people. They want to help people. Worldly queen thinking about the glamour and the gold and the attention. Spiritual queen don't think about that. Spiritual queen thinking about, what must I do to please God? What must I do to please my husband? What must I do so my husband and I can dominate and we can represent Jesus Christ? So this show, my brother and sister, is very, very important that you know, brother. You have to select the right woman. When you find the right woman, brother, you do not go out there looking. You let God strategically do the leg work, and God will put the woman right in your face. That's how you find her. Sister, if you want to be a queen, you let God bring you up to that. You let God, let that man see you, and you let that man put that slipper on your feet or your foot, and you are his Cinderella. So, brother, get you a Cinderella. I love you, brothers. I love you, sisters. I hope that you all got something from dinner time tonight. I'm not going to keep you that long. My sister is about to have her show, so I got to go. I love you, brothers. I love you, sisters. Peace out.